here's the deal today, guys. I am starting a mobile splitting service. However, that splitting service is right here in my wood yard. I have a number of rounds that I was going to take the time to truck them all the way down to where I had the axis before, split them down there, which would have been in the shade, which would have been nice. But then I started thinking, why not just hitch up the axis and bring it up here and split all these logs? These logs are an assortment of offcuts or uglies, pieces that I know would struggle going through the 405. So I just went ahead and cut them off. There's still wood that we can harvest in here for product, but I also need logs for my woodshed back at the house. So my thought is I'll just do all at the same time and we'll get all of these logs out of the way. The log truck is supposed to be coming in, and I wanted to get these out of here because these are just going to get logs laid on top of them. I won't be able to move them out. But then that got me thinking, a mobile splitting service. You know, there's probably money to be made. So here's how I set up my process. I have this tote is where all my value-added firewood is going to get split and put into here. The wheelbarrow, I'll probably put all the cherry in there. I don't know if it'll fill it up, but make things easier because we sort by species. And the far basket, I pulled that from the Japa. These are my offcuts. So we'll just put the uglies right into that. When we're all done, I will fork that into the back of my truck and I'll take that and stack it in the woodshed. Bring the empty tote back and we're ready to start making firewood again with the Japa. And the splitter, of course, is the Eastonmade axis, which is awesome. It is. So pay attention to this thing here because you can do anything you want with an axis. Value-added firewood, boiler wood, it doesn't matter. It's a very versatile machine. But for a mobile splitting service, could this be the machine for you? I don't know. Let's see how it performs today, and we'll talk about it when I am all done, assuming that I haven't passed out from the heat. Here we go. ever let anyone tell you that splitting firewood isn't work. Whoo, boy, I am just drenched. It is moderately hot out here, late September in Ohio. We've had mid-80s all week. I thought I would get out here early in the morning and do this, but it is, I'm feeling it right now. I am here to tell you this is work. Wow, that is a lot of work. And I'm thinking of this, though, from running a business, because I've heard people talk about running a mobile splitting business, because that is the labor-intensive, well, it's one of the labor-intensive parts of firewood. And this may be for you. If you got the machinery, if you got the desire, I think you go for it. Just, I don't know what you would charge. But there was something that came to my mind while I was doing all of this, guys. If I am charging for my services in splitting this firewood, which basket took the less amount of time to split? Which basket would you say? I would say this one, because the pieces are much bigger. I think we all agree with that. But if you were selling your services, well, the wheelbarrow goes in here, okay? If you were selling your services, which basket would you charge more to the customer? I don't think it would be this. I think it is obviously this one. This is the obvious choice. But wait a second. How could that be? Are you saying that we're making more money by splitting the firewood smaller than we are with this? I mean, we barely touched this firewood. We touched this firewood a lot. We had to keep resplitting and splitting and splitting. We're making toothpicks. Guys, we're losing money. Wait a second. Now I'm confused. Are you saying that by touching the firewood more times, you make more money? To me, that answer is clearly yes. Guys, the more you touch firewood, the more valuable it becomes. The less you touch it, the more money you're leaving on the table. Now, this may be the kind of firewood that you want, or that the customer wants, and that's great. But if you are also thinking of selling the firewood and not just your labor, and you have a finite supply of logs, wouldn't it be in your interest to maximize your profits? And that would mean splitting the wood smaller, maybe sorting by species, throwing all the ugly stuff out. This basket is probably worth half of what this is. There are people that are looking for species-specific, small split, that's a lot of S's, firewood, and here it is. I ran out of wheelbarrow space with this cherry, and I just threw the last of the cherry on top because that'll be easy enough for me to stack. I'll just fork that over to the appropriate area. But there you go, guys, a mobile splitting service. That's labor-intensive. If you are up for it, I think you could probably make some good side money with it. But then again, what does the customer want? You know, if you are splitting it like this, you're still taking your machine to the site, you're still putting in the labor, but if you split it down a little bit smaller, you can make more money. Just some things to think about. But that just came to my mind about the whole foundation of Ohio Wood Burner and how we sell firewood, guys. And that is the biggest thing that I have learned about firewood. And you hear conventional wisdom, people talking about, you know, the way you got to do it, the way you got to make money with firewood. And I have found the exact opposite to be the case. The more you handle, the more you process, the deeper into the processing that you get with firewood, the more valuable it becomes. You know, people mock firewood if you split it too small because it's toothpicks. But I would argue that that supports my theory, because if you split a stick of firewood down into toothpicks, don't you think that that pile of toothpicks, you could sell those for more than you could that one stick of firewood? Just seems so. Oh, by the way, this cherry smells awesome. I'm not going to lie. It just seems to me, though, guys, if you were going to start a mobile splitting business, when would your services be needed? Would it be in the summer or the spring? If it's in the spring, is the ground going to be too wet and muddy for you to get your machine into position? Or if it's in the summer, is it just too hot? Well, it might be, may not be for you, but it would be for me, about when you're going to be splitting. Or is it a winter thing? I think everything like that is something to consider. it just seems to me, if you have the machine, if you got the time, maybe give it a shot. It could be some nice spending money. Could be a nice service to provide to a homeowner who might have had a tree come down. And depending on what the customer wants, you know, you can make some extra money by touching the firewood more than you would over here. And one more thing. And I really do believe that is the most important thing I can tell you about being successful as a mobile splitting service. But how about this Eastonmade Axis, guys? What an awesome machine. This is not a machine, though, that you want to just pull around the yard, you know, like your big box store type splitter. These are too big and too heavy. You need a tractor or a truck to move these things around. It is just a big, massive machine. But wow, do you see its versatility? I'm able to harvest value-added firewood out of a log that's, most of it's going into the boiler wood pile. That just shows you how precise that knife can be when you're splitting firewood. But I think there is not a person out there who owns a log splitter that hasn't thought about selling their labor in splitting firewood for other people. It seems, though, to me, the valuable product is not necessarily the labor that goes into it, but, you know, your finished product. It's just like anything else. If you're a plumber or drywall, you know, those add up to the final value of the house that's being built. And I think the same thing goes with the industry of firewood. The bucking, the splitting, the stacking, all of that goes into the final price of the product being sold. Those are just some things to think of on running a mobile splitting business. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. I'll just be splitting and stacking my own product, and that's how I am making money, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everyone has a great day.